Hey guys, it's Rush, and today I'm going to be sharing you a replay that I had in my T-54. In the end, this was 8,800 damage. I managed to get 7 kills, and I think it really showed how you want to be playing this map. So before we even really get started, I want to bring your attention to my mini-map. So as you can see, we've got a large majority of our team who are camping base. However, this map is won sort of in the A0-ish area. So what I'm doing is I'm going to the hill. Normally I wouldn't suggest going to the hill if you have no one with you, but you can see I do actually have people with me. I've got a Wn8, a Centurion, and an IS-3 who are coming with me. And so I'm like, okay, if you look at their lineup, how many of them are spotted in the base? Can I make this work? And I decide, yeah, I'll make it work. It might not end well, but it also has the potential to be very great. So it's a bit of a risk here. I might just get overwhelmed by the enemies since I'm alone for the first couple seconds of the battle. So it's a bit of a risk. However, they're not being very aggressive, and I'm able to take advantage of the fact that, you know, they're in slow tanks, they're coming up the hill, they're not in a very good position, and I'm able to be hulled down and just put shots into their hull from here. So you can see that's what I'm going to do. There's a VK behind them. My team is starting to get into this fight. I'm just trying to keep the enemy in a very bad position until my teammates are able to get here. You can see they're struggling to get up the hill, and what I'm doing is I'm focusing down the Centurion 7-1. So the biggest threat to us currently is the Centurion, and I'm shooting at him above everyone else simply because he's the only guy who can realistically pen me reliably. So you can see here's the IS-6, my help has arrived, there's a Centurion behind me, you can see him on the mini-map. I'm able to put shots into this IS-6. He's not in a great position, however what he does right now is actually pretty smart. He's able to use his Centurion 7-1 for cover, and a lot of people aren't very creative with that, so if you take anything away from his gameplay, that's what you should do. Right now what I'm doing is I'm actually using the Centurion for cover from the the KV-5, the IS-6, and the VKB. You can see it's actually pretty effective. I'll just, you know, I've got 3 tanks in between myself and everyone. Rip. Camera's glitching out. That's okay. I'm just going to keep using this guy for cover and putting shots into people who are either not looking at me or reloading. And right now the KV-5, I think he just wasn't looking at me, so... The IS-6 is actually playing really well. He's shooting at me when I'm reloading and not looking at him. He's able to put shots into my side. That's not the biggest thing in the world. I mean, you've got 1,600 hit points. If you're not going to use them, you might as well not have hit points. But, you know, it's just something to be aware of. I maybe could have saved myself a couple of hit points if I had simply pointed my front towards the IS-6. That being said, right now we're hull down against this VKB. I don't have to worry about artillery or anything like that, and actually what's pretty interesting is this game's still a tie, so there's that. Right now I'm shooting at the turret of the VKB. The strongest part of his tank is going to be the hull, so I'm just looking for shots on his cheeks. You can see sometimes they're going to bounce, but who cares? It happens, you know. Putting shots into his cheeks again, and you can see I'm just using the Centurion 7-1 to pretty much the most that I can. He gave me hull down cover, might as well use it. Right now I'm pushing into their base. Now I wanted to talk about something. A lot of times TDs will camp on the 0 line. They will also camp in their base, but a huge thing is TDs camping on the 0 line. Right now, I don't have to worry about that. Most of their team is lit. Everyone except the Stirrer Mill is lit. So I can safely say they've got very little camping on the 0 line in terms of threat, so I feel safe pushing down. If their T-95 was likely to be on the 0 line, he's actually in our base right now, but if I thought he'd be on the 0 line, the better way to approach this would have been to have left the hill and not pushed into the front of a tank destroyer. Tank destroyers excel at shooting people directly in front of them, obviously. So the only way you can realistically beat a TD with higher firepower than you is for you to try to flank him. So what I would have done is I would have come up the middle and then tried to put side shots into the 0 line. That isn't the case right now. I'm able to see my mini-map. It's very unlikely that we're going to find much resistance over here since they were all spotted in their base. So you can see I'm just driving down right here. I'm looking for shots on whoever I can. I'm also being cautious because now I know there's no one to my left. The Stirrer Mill was lit, but I do have to be worried about their RHM who is camping base. He might be using the big gun with 750 alpha, so he does actually have potential to one-shot me. You can see I get lit here, so I really want to be safe. I don't want to get hit by the RHM, and by now I'm probably unlit, so I'm like, hey, let's just push into this. I'm not going to camp. That's fucking boring. Okay, so how I'm going to push into this is, well, first, the T-95 managed to cross the field, which is hilarious. I'm able to put a shot into the 12T, and I'm just going to try to get hull down as very quickly as I can. So in this water, it's very unlikely that people are going to be able to shoot me from these houses back here, and that's where I'm assuming they're camping. So I'm able to use that as a position. What I'm also going to do is I'm also going to use the building to my left to give me cover from the RHM, who I assume is in this sort of area. So you can see the RHM is lit. I zoom out so I can look at him and I can verify that he is indeed behind that building. He's not a threat to me. He's got other stuff to worry about, so I can just continue to put shots into this Mutz here. Managed to put one more into him. And right now, the game is actually in their favor. They have a lot of hit points on them, they have a lot of firepower on them, and they have a lot of potential to win this game. So what I'm doing is I'm focusing down what I consider to be the biggest threat right now. That's going to be the T-95. Hopefully the VK in our base isn't actually AFK, and maybe I can save his life or something. So I'm just putting shots into the rear of the T-95, trying to maybe light him on fire or whatever. That actually doesn't happen. And you're going to see I am actually trying to keep myself safe from a 4202 who's to my side. So I can't zoom it out because of a replay glitch, excuse me. But there is a 4202 to my side, and I am aware of that. I'm just trying to keep myself in a position where he can't put shots into me. So I was able to use maybe that VK2601 for cover. Right there I put a shot just below his gun. When you're shooting at a 4202, you want to be shooting not at the angled parts of its turret, but I'd say just below his gun there's like a ring that you can put shots into. Right now I'm just pushing into this T-29, so I want to talk about something. A lot of times people are scared to use their hit points. Right now we're at the end of the game. We're probably going to win this, and I've got 800 hit points. I might as well kill this T-29 before he shoots more of my teammates. There's nothing wrong with me spending some of my hit points to get more of damage. I like to think of it like a bit like an investment where you when you use your hit points, you can get something out of it. Obviously, it depends how well you use your hit points. You might get more or less out of, your usage for them or not. But hopefully that makes sense. Right there, I was just using my hit points to kill the T-29. Who cares? The Mutz isn't going to kill me. I'm on 500 hit points. So that's something to consider. If it's going to get you more damage, there's nothing wrong in taking hits. A lot of people are too cautious, and, that's something to think about. Alright, so right now we're just dealing with this Mutz. He's on 95 hit points. He's a one-shot. A teammate tells us to cap out. There's no reason to be capping out right now. Like, the only time this Mutz is going to kill me is if he sets me on fire or ammo racks me. To be honest, him setting me on fire is pretty likely, but I also, he's been camping base all game. His skill level's probably not very good, so he's probably going to have to take some time aiming, and I should be able to just use my skill to kill him before he kills me. Anyways, it's more fun to hunt down tanks. So he's spotted, I can just aim this shot, and I can pick up my 7th kill. Alrighty, so that's the game. Hopefully I explained my mentality and thought process through. If you have any questions... Oh, let's go into the end plates. Shit. So currently this replay has the highest damage on the Wn8 Replays website, which I think is pretty impressive. In the end, we got a Mastery Badge, High Caliber, Tank Sniper, and a Top Gun. 115,000 credits to... What's that? 1602 base experience, 8,767 damage, 7 kills, and we ended up making a profit, which I think is pretty impressive. Anyways, thanks for watching. If you want to see more of my replays, be sure to hit the like and the subscribe button, and if you have any questions, don't hesitate to, comment. I read everything. Obviously, I don't have the time to respond to all the comments anymore because my channel's growing so quickly, but I read every comment, and if you ask a question that, I feel I can answer, I'll definitely respond to you, so... Yeah, I hope to see you around. Later, guys. Bye-bye.